and then I ended up finding out I was his side piece. I really thought he was the ish rapping them lyrics to both of us. We really was clocking that tea like, oh, he think I'm the shit. Yeah, little did I know I was not even the freaking part. I wasn't even the part. He was literally gagged that we found out his scheme, and this is why I hated men. This time he would pick a fight with me. Like, he'll be like, oh, why you always do da 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 da. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was an L friend. Hey guys, it's me, Maya, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back, y'all. I have missed you guys so much, and I know some of you may have missed me and some of you may have not. That's cool, that's fine and dandy. I hope you missed me. I was gone for quite some time now due to school. I had to take a break from filming to get done with some school stuff. I'll get more into that later on, maybe like another video down the line. But for right now, I am just happy to be back, and I am so excited for today's video, y'all. For today, I'm going to be doing a story time. One of my girlies reached out to me over Instagram via DM, and they let me know that, hey, they missed me. They wanted me to film another story time. So that is what I'm here to bring you guys today. A lot of you guys seem to really enjoy my story times. So I'm going to give my girlies what they want today, and I am going to be telling you the story time of the time a pretty boy played me, and then I ended up finding out I was his side piece. This story time takes place my sophomore year. I just remember coming back to school, seeing a new kid walking around, and the gag about the new kid is that he wasn't unattractive. Like, he fits the description. He was a pretty boy. And everyone knows in high school that when you see like a new kid come through, like everybody's gonna flock to him. The girls are going to go after him. The girls who find him attractive are going to make their move. I don't know if I could say the same thing for everybody else's high school, but I know for a fact at my high school, I can count on like my hand how many times a new boy came and all the girls will either flock over to him or try to make their move or like just try to talk, which is fine and dandy. He's new to the school. He's probably single. He probably, you know what I mean, probably don't got no motion going on. So if you're gonna go make motion with him, go make that motion. I just wanted to explain to you guys like how my school worked, but yeah. When I first saw him, I had no intentions on trying to make a move on him. Like, I literally had no classes with the kid, so I never thought our paths would cross or we would even, you know, be in the environment to talk to each other. So since we had no classes and we had no reason to talk to each other, let me explain how we eventually started talking. Basically, one day I met this girl, and we'll call her Maddie. I know you guys are probably wondering like, where did the name Maddie come from? I basically picked this name because I ended up unintentionally taking her man. Now I know Cassie from Euphoria, she stole Maddie's man and they were best friends, but me and the girl, we weren't best friends, so don't have that in your head, don't have that picture. But I'm only using that as the example because Cassie did end up taking Nate Jacobs from Maddie. So yeah, if you've seen Euphoria, you know, you get the reference. So yeah, that's why. Maddie was also new at the school, and she had like no friends at the time. Like, I don't know what she had going on in her private circumstances, but whenever I was talking to her, she did tell me that she really didn't have nobody to hang around or wasn't really hanging around anybody. So I was just like, well, you're new. When I was new, I would hope somebody would want to talk to me. So I basically just invited her over to hang out with me and my friends for lunch. That way she can make some friends and, you know, kind of get comfortable. We ended up having lunch. She was very cool or whatever. My friends liked her. So we ended up still hanging out with her. We walked with her to the lounge area, and then we all just sat there at the lounge area. Mind y'all, at my high school, we had this thing during our lunchtime where we had like an hour lunch. So for like, I would say like 30 minutes of the lunch we would eat, and then like the rest of the time, we would either just walk around or just sit on the couch or just basically just pretty much just bullshit around. Like, pretty much just do whatever we want until we had to get back to our classes, or if we needed to study and we needed to get our stuff together, we would go study. But yeah, also keep in mind the dude's name is gonna be Soldier Boy. Reason why I named him Soldier Boy is because he literally was a freaking pretty boy, like pretty boy swag. Soldier Boy, yeah, he was that. He was a pretty boy, but he thought he was a hood nigga at the same time. So clock that C. Next thing you know, while we're sitting at the loungers, we'll call him Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy ended up walking over to my friend group at the loungers, and he specifically came and sat by Maddie because obviously he wanted to talk to Maddie. So he started talking to her, and they just were kikiing with each other, chit-chatting, and they ended up exchanging numbers, and I was just minding my business. Like, I was sitting there talking to her, but you know, if she's macking, do your thing. I'm gonna mind my business. I have no reason to interrupt or intervene in this conversation because it has nothing to do with me. So like I said, he ended up making his move. He got her number. By that time, the bell rang and we had to walk to our next class. Me and Maddie had to go the same direction to our next classes, so we ended up walking together. I just remember while she was sitting there talking to him, my other friend, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was an L friend. Like, don't do what I did. Like, I will never always be the good girl in every story. I will have a little bit of villain arc in some of my stories. Like, I'm not the perfect person, and I never said I was. Not every story time I'm gonna be a victim. I can admit this is where I was wrong. But I did end up telling the girl that there was something that happened while she was talking to him, while they were exchanging numbers, while they were, making motion happen. One of my friends in my friend group was just popping her ish about, like, why is he talking to her? Like, he should have been talking to her type shit. Like, she really was, like, making it about her and, butthurt about it. And I just found it very weird. Like, it was so not cute to me. It was just not cute. That doesn't make it right that I told old girl about it. That doesn't make it right that I told Maddie about it. But at the same time, girl, protect your man. Protect your man. No, like, I was dead ass sitting there like, girl, if that was me in 4K, and that was happening to me in 4K, I would want somebody to tell me. So I did end up telling Maddie. I'm still an L friend because I had no loyalty to Maddie like that. Like, I just met her. So at the end of the day, that's why I was wrong. But at the same time, the whole situation was just very, very, very messy. So I ain't gonna lie, I ended up being an L friend, and I told Maddie that, hey, so-and-so said this and this. She might want to come for your man. So if you want to keep him, you might want to secure the bag. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be no hater. Do you secure your bag? So I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, he was talking to Maddie. How did you guys end up talking? Basically, I would say about like a week later, I was in my science class and I was sitting there, just taking Snapchats. Like, I took a Snapchat video of myself and I posted it on my Snapchat story because, girl, y'all know what y'all do when you're in high school. When you bored, you just take a little cute selfie and, you put it on your Snapchat. I ended up looking at my phone and I see that somebody added me as a friend. So obviously I opened up my Snapchat and who do I see in my phone? I see Soulja Boy has added me as a friend. So I added him back because I don't have no problem with you. We could be mutuals on Snapchat. Next thing you know, I check my phone again and I see he's messaged me. So I open up the messages and I see that he asked me if I had like a boy I was talking to. Like, was I talking to anybody? And I was just like, why are you asking me if I'm talking to somebody? Ain't you talking to Maddie?
Y'all don't mind my voice. I'm sick, but I'm still trying to get this video out for you guys because I know you guys have been dying for another story time. But basically, when I asked him that, I was expecting him to be like, yeah, I am talking to her, be honest, because you ain't got to lie. Like, what you lying for? But anyways, he was like, nah, we ain't talking and stuff. And basically, like, how he wanted to talk to me and that, like, he was asking if I had a man so he could swoop in and talk to me and blah, 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 blah. Right? And so I ended up giving him, like, my number and stuff because he told me he wasn't talking to her. And he was just asking to talk to me. So I was like, okay, well, you're not ugly. I mean, I guess we could talk to see how this goes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we ended up talking. But that's pretty much how it all started. At the end of the day, I should have said yes. I had a man. I should have said yes.
So I pretty much just ended up saying yes because of the mindset that I had. I don't think that what I did was right. But with the mindset that I had, that's how I felt. So I said yes. So I gave Soulja Boy my number and we pretty much started talking from there. We were texting like throughout the school day that day. And then when I got home, he ended up asking me if I wanted to FaceTime and we FaceTimed that day. So keep in mind, once we had that first FaceTime call, we pretty much did this same routine throughout that whole first week we were talking. The FaceTime calls that week weren't really that major, but here are some of the things that I want you guys to take away from those FaceTime calls so you can keep in mind the mindset I had when I found out I was the freaking side piece. So those FaceTime calls really weren't that major, but here are the key things I want you to take away from those FaceTime calls that we had for that whole first week straight. He would always call me princess and he would always be like, you're spoiled, you're spoiled, you're spoiled. You're just a pretty princess, a pretty princess. He would always call me pretty. Like every time we were on FaceTime, you look beautiful, you look pretty, you look beautiful. Always boosting up my head and trying to boost up my ego by always calling me pretty. Pretty much just overtly expressing how pretty I was. And sometimes it would be a little too much.
When you're talking to somebody and they're constantly calling you pretty, like I saw no red flags at the time. So obviously I'm over here thinking like, oh, he think I'm the shit. Yeah. Little did I know I was not even the freaking fart. I wasn't even the fart.
This ish is so cringe, but when I think about it now, everything becomes full circle. I kid you not. On these FaceTime calls, he will always rap Youngboy. He will always say NBA Youngboy's the best rapper, and he will always call me and rap NBA Youngboy lyrics to me.
Fuck K-Train, nobody say girl, die today, slime.
Like, imagine you sitting there on FaceTime and you're talking to somebody and then they turn on NBA Youngboy and just start singing to you. Bro, when I tell you I tried my absolute hardest to keep a straight face, but I was dead ass laughing in his face on FaceTime. I thought that shit was so funny because even back then I knew that shit was cringe, brother. Cringe. Like, I'm not even saying that because of how he did me. It's just the simple fact of that ish was cringe. Like, what was he thinking?
On some of those FaceTime calls, he would be in the room with his brother, and his brother would take his phone and always call me pretty too. So it's not only Soulja Boy calling me pretty, but it's his little brother always calling me pretty. At the time, I thought it was cute. I'm like, oh, even his little brother thinks I'm a pretty girl.
But did he even really mean it though? Because that's the gang.
And then this last point is a major point. He would call me and then we'll be on FaceTime for a couple hours. And then he'll be like, oh, my mom's calling, or oh, I gotta go do something. And hang up, text me, I'm gonna call you back in a few. By the time he would call me back, it would be 2 to 3 hours later. Like, it would be like a long time. At one point, I literally took a nap, woke up, still didn't get a call, took another nap, woke up, and finally got a call. Like, red flag. Like, now that I'm thinking about this, that ish was a red flag.
If a man ever does that to you, if a man ever plays in your face like this, leave him. I don't know why I didn't pack up on him a whole lot sooner. I don't know what I was thinking back in the day, but I'm literally was stupid, new to the game, not true to the game. There should be no reason why when you call someone almost every day, the same thing happens. Same thing. Like, there's no coincidence that's that coinkadinkity, okay? No, leave him.
So the following weeks after that, this same process would repeat, but the only difference is he would hang up in my face this time, and instead of telling me that he had to go do something, this time he would pick a fight with me. Like, he would be like, oh, why you always do da 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 da? He would always pick a fight with me. Of course, like, I'm not finna take ish from nobody, so I'm over here popping my ish back in, like, who are you talking to? But at the same time, I'm sitting here really in my mind, sitting here like, am I crazy? Like, am I really the bad guy? Like,
y'all, the way this man will manipulate me, the mind tricks that this man played with me, bonkers. Like, I would actually sit there and think I was the problem, and I would sit there and be like, dang, like, maybe I should apologize. Like, maybe I'm too blunt. Maybe I'm rude. Maybe I need to do some self-evaluating. Like, I actually sat there and thought I was the problem. How are you a problem when you haven't caused any problems to anybody? Like, you don't say anything crazy to the person. You're just talking. You're just being yourself. And then they just start spazzing on you. Like, how are you ever going to be the problem? I don't know why I let that man put that delusion in my head. Well, boy, he did a number on me. Don't ever let nobody play you like this or make you feel like this.
Like, I'm over here trying to fix myself to be with this man who's over here picking random fights with me. So like I said, this cycle continued over weeks and weeks on weeks. Like, sometimes he would even go as far to be lucky enough to get an apology out of me. Like, I would actually sit there and apologize like I was the problem. But one day I was sitting there and I was like, nah, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. I lost my mind before, but now I found it. So I basically texted him saying, you're emotional and your emotions are everywhere, and I'm not doing this with you no more. Like, we're not doing this. I'm not gonna sit here and keep arguing with you and you saying I'm the problem, because I'm not the problem. So when you find your right mind, we can talk. But right now, we're not talking. I would say it was like a couple of days of us not talking. And what was crazy about it is I just knew something was gonna happen. But basically later that day, Maddie ended up messaging me and she asked me if I was talking to Soulja Boy. Now, I could have did one thing. I could have like, no, I'm not talking to him, and lied. But I've never been the type of person, I'm not gonna lie about who I'm talking to. So if you want to know who I'm talking about, I'm going to tell you. So I told her yes. Once I said yes, she ended up explaining to me that she was still talking to Soulja Boy, and that basically she knew he was talking to somebody else. She just couldn't figure out who. Now she knows. And that basically he's been manipulating both of us the whole time. She literally explained to me that they've been talking the whole time me and him were talking. Y'all, when she explained that to me, I gagged. So I know you guys are probably thinking like we probably beefed or whatever, but we really didn't end up beefing about it.
Cap.
I don't know where that delusion came from, but no, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, we definitely did beef over it, just not on that phone call. But whenever I came back from school, because when this happened, like when we figured it out, it was during like a winter break or something like that, or like spring break. I don't remember which break, but it was a break. Like I was at home chilling when this happened. Yeah, it was a break, and when I came back to school, literally had beef with heck of people. So if y'all want like a story time about the aftermath of like this story, let me know, because y'all, the drama, like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy.
We mostly just sat there and compared notes, and we were like, oh, he did his big one. He really did his big one. This boy was doing the same thing to me. He was doing it to her, but he was amping her up way more than me. Like, y'all remember earlier when I explained the things that he would do that first week we were on the phone, and he still did kind of over time? So instead of calling her princess, he would call her queen. I'm princess, but she's queen? Like, everybody knows queen is better than princess. Like, that really gagged me. Like, that really gagged me right there. Like, oh. We both found out, we both ended up talking to the little brother. And what's crazy was when I asked her, I was like, did the little brother like call you pretty? Like, you're just so pretty. You're so lucky to be with her, brother. Like, you're so pretty. She was like, yeah, he did that to me. Like, all the time he was on the phone with me. I gagged. So that you got your little brother in the scheme. You have him on a routine with you of when he see you on the phone with another female, he obviously, he knows the drill. We ended up finding out he also would karaoke NBA YoungBoy lyrics to her on the phone too. Bruh. As we kept comparing notes, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And this is why I hated men. Like, this is why. That reason, that was my 13th reason on why I hated men. So once me and Maddie got done comparing notes, we basically found out that the things that he did to her, he did to me. So we devised a plan to, you know, expose him, you know, put him on blast, make him feel stupid. We came up with this plan where one of us will call him. Hopefully he picked up. Once he picked up, we're going to go ahead and add the other girl to the call, and then we're going to clock that tea. I don't remember who called him. I don't remember who was added in. I just know that once he found out both of us was on that call, it was up. I mean, we started calling him an F-boy, a fake NBA YoungBoy, because he really thought he was the ish rapping them lyrics to both of us. We really was clocking that tea. Like, you was really talking to one of us and then talk to another us, and you had us on a schedule. Like, we just were gagging him. Like, he was literally gagged that we found out his scheme. He didn't think we were smart enough to find out, but we figured it out. For most of the call, he was gagged in the beginning, but then he just started trying to, like, you know, like, feel like he was that guy, feel like he was that ish. So he was just sitting there laughing, like, thinking that it was funny. Like, he thought shit was really funny. He also took no accountability. He could not care less. Like, he literally did not freaking care. Oh, he literally passes his little brother his phone, and that same little brother who was calling us pretty, and I think he called Maddie ugly. And I was just sitting there like, you got some nerve calling one of us ugly when you literally just was piping our heads up the other day, the whole phone call.
I don't know how much more like I can express out of this phone call, but like literally there was no answers provided. We would ask him a question and he would just sit there and just laugh it off, or just sit there and not talk. Really, I don't even know why someone would just try to do this, but I mean, I guess he just wanted his cake and he wants to eat it too. But at the same time, like, I don't get it. I still don't get it till this day. How can you do all of this, and have no motif? No motif? No climax? No resolution? You gave us nothing but trauma, drama, and a headache. And you can't even give us a motherfucking resolution, a conclusion, something? Eventually, after we realized we weren't going to get anything out of the conversation, like we weren't going to get any answers or anything, period, point blank, we just hung up the phone, ended the conversation. Me and her, I think we had like talked, and we were just like, it is what it is. Like, you know, we know where we stand with each other. Like, we'll never be cool. And that was just that on that.
Like, this phone call was literally top tier clown behavior. And after all that traumatic ass drama happened, he ended up messaging me, and he did end up apologizing.
Was the apology sincere? I will never know until this day. Did I accept the apology? Yes, I did, like a clown. And then to really top it off, because I'm such a dummy, because I'm such a freaking dummy, he asked me to be his friend, just friends, and I said yes, even though he manipulated me. Like, I hate how kind, I hate how I am sometimes. I hate how I move sometimes. Moral of the story is, don't ever let a man play you like this, put you in a predicament like this, or ever waste your time like this, because you are beautiful and you are worth way more than that energy that he is putting into you. Oh, and one more final thing, because this is crucial. Remember how I told you everything in this story comes back full circle? When I tell you I have receipts, and I have the receipts, and I'm gonna put up a little bit of the receipt on the screen. I'm gonna cover it up because I don't want to put anybody's personal business out there, but I will put the screenshot on the screen because I always keep the receipt. Remember I told you he would rap NBA Youngboy and he would just be like, oh, I want to live the street life. He was always like fantasizing about living the street life. Well, yeah, now he really about that life. He really living that street life now. Really took NBA Youngboy literally. He literally clocked in on that.
But yeah, y'all, that is the end of today's story time. This story time taught me so much about dating and what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not willing to tolerate. I would never, ever let this ever happen to me again. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story time. I love you guys so much. I will see you girlies in the next video. Bye.